Hi, Mark. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So we
So,
got
go ahead.
to talk about our mid-month numbers.
Yeah, so couple surprises, but let's hope it plays out. I think everybody should watch to the end to see. Um, Transactions are down. I think, if we look at the weather last year, when looking at some of those sales and stuff like that, seeing some bidding wars quite a bit. We're seeing that a little bit today, but I think it's slowed down a little bit as well. And we're not seeing the transactions. Transactions are down 45% compared to last year at this time, exact day. So um,
I think
we've had
that's friggin' alarming.
it's alarming, but I don't get too bent out of shape until the end of the month and see, right? So I'm kind of curious to see how the rest of the month plays out. We've had a shitty summer, sorry, a shitty start to the spring weather. I think it's impacting the market too. And new budget came out, I think the consumer's getting squeezed more and more. I don't know. There's a few things, there's lots of pieces to this puzzle. It's hard to figure them all out. But
Well, it
this,
is. And I don't think anybody, like, I get a lot of people commenting, oh, this is happening and that's happening. Well, I'm glad you know that it's happening because nobody else in the world knows exactly. There's so many factors that come into this that to
right.
try to say it's this or it's that and this is what's going to happen. I mean, if we all had a crystal ball, we'd be rich. It's just nobody really knows. And if think that you know more than anybody else, I mean, I don't know.
Well, the numbers don't lie. And, we've seen for the last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of inventory building throughout Barrie, Innisfil, Simcoe County, even colleagues in Southern Ontario, GTA markets. A lot of inventory is coming out. We're just not seeing the sell through on it.
No.
Right. So, looking at some of the solds, I still saw some, good momentum in the lower price range. I've seen the odd, again, when I say bidding war, I don't want people to take it out of context, go, oh, it's over market value, because it's not. It's just
No,
we're
they
market
priced it really low.
to drive traffic. That's it. So let's clear up that because we're not seeing any too much property selling above market value, if any. It's
No.
not happening. So um
So the sales this year were 69 through this time, halfway through the month last year, or sorry, this year, and last year was 153. So we're down
yeah,
by 45%.
so it's quite a bit.
It's a
Transaction,
lot.
right? It's a lot. And our inventory it's building, right?
Yeah,
Like
we have
it's
557 active still.
so what is that? So let's keep it there before we go on. So in the eye of the consumer, the buyer, they have a bit more choice today,
Yeah.
right? If I was a seller today, I'd be a little nervous about that, depending if you were what the competition is doing out there, how does their property show to the competition? Is it priced right? Because when you talked earlier this morning, and I watch the board 2 or 3 times a day, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of activity, but I'm seeing a whole lot of activity on terminations and relists.
Yes.
So I still think some pricing needs to be done a little bit more. And maybe and I think some sellers are reacting a little bit quicker than they have been because of the inventory numbers are up.
Yeah, and we noticed that in one of our videos last week where there was so many price changes and cancels and relists in one day. It was crazy.
It was a lot, right? It was a
And a
lot.
lot of them weren't even listed that long.
No, and I think you have to react a little bit quicker than normal, right? And if you look especially at some different ranges where we see a lot of inventory, what we're going to get into, let's go to there now, but let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Like there's 180 listings at a million and over, and that equals 32% of the total inventory. Look at the sales,
Point
not even
five.
9.5, not even full percent. Whoa, you got 180 listings out there from a million and above. Sharpen your pencils. You're gonna have to, right? We're seeing some sell, Diane, but we're not seeing. I mean that'll that number was a bit more alarming because last month we've seen
It
pick
was,
up.
wasn't it 7 or 8% or something?
Yeah, it was a lot higher. Again, I'm not going to read too much into this, folks, where we're at the halfway point of the month, but there's some inventory, and you know, a smart buyer or a smart agent out there is going to be looking at the numbers like we have in front of us and going, hey, you want $1 million property and over? Let's go house shopping because there's 180 of them and you got your choice and we can bargain, we can negotiate.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. There's gonna be a lot of negotiating going on.
Yes. Yeah, right. And as this market becomes more balanced, right? I mean, I just think there's uncertainty in this country today. People
I
are,
think
I think,
everybody's waiting for something to happen. I don't think any like, it's even like my mortgage renewal, my mortgage renews this month. And the guy asked me, "Oh, so um do you want to actually that reminds me I got to go to the office today." Anyway, he said so do you want to lock in? He's giving me all these rates and I said to him like, "Why am I going to do it now? It's huge the interest they want for a 3 or 4 year." So
and
like, why wouldn't I wait? And as a buyer, why wouldn't I wait?
well, we know they're going to come down, but we know they're not going to come down substantially, right? We're just not.
Right.
And there's a decent jobs report. We're off topic a bit, but who cares? That came out. There was some, some decent job numbers that came out, but a lot of them were all part-time. All these retailers and summer seasonal businesses, need part-time workers. So, to me, that was just a joke. It wasn't, it's not a lot of full-time employment and good employment. It's, low paying minimum wage jobs for summer students in a sense are part-time workers. They'll
Mhm.
all be gone by July.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. Anyway,
So from 900 to a million, we're at 7.6, which isn't great. 6 solds, 79 actives.
yeah, yeah. That range has gone up a little bit more. All the ranges have gone up a bit more,
Yeah.
right?
Well, what surprises me actually is this like, okay, so from 8 to 900, there's 99, 17 solds, which is basically 17%.
So so right there. So just to make the viewers understand this is, so out of all these listings, so here, 17% is selling. What about the other 83% that's not selling? Why? This is what I think viewers need to ask themselves. Why is not my house selling today? Is it price? Is it location? What do I need to do to make it more saleable? And you got to look at that. I think a seller today really has to look at all possibilities today and just stop thinking that we put a sign in the front yard and I think we're priced okay. I think
Well,
there's
what and actually what surprises me is in the lower ranges.
in what
Like
way?
from 7 to 800, that's a mid-range. That's not that high, really. And
Mhm,
there are people like 2 professionals who can buy in that range.
mhm,
And you have 112 active, only 20 sold, only 18%.
mhm. No, it's not a big number. And again, we're at the halfway point, but if I was a seller today, Dan, from 7 down, I would be very concerned. I would be reevaluating, why am I selling? And I would take it a step further and I'd walk every room and be a critic and go, why isn't this, is it presentation? Do I need to paint? Is it clean enough? Do I need to get the carpets clean? Do I need to, you know, do an accent wall, whatever it's gonna look, and then go back to those houses that sold. Get your realtor or a realtor like us to say, hey, here's some solds. Go look at why they sold. I think more has to be done today. Bottom line, as we get more inventory, sellers better do more.
Well,
That's
like even in the lower range, 6 to 700.
Yeah, that's a lot. 68. The average is, we've seen 24, 35. Even that range has gone up, and only 24% is sold in
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like the sales are just way down. All
They're
all
way
across the board. They're just way down.
right. And is it safe to say that if we go back February, March, are the numbers off a little bit? Yeah, they are, because we got more product, we got more inventory,
Well, I
right?
think our numbers all year. I mean, we've been down all year.
In what way down? I'm not saying down all year.
We haven't seen an increase in sales.
Yeah,
And
we have.
like last year, apparently in 2023 was the lowest amount of sales in 25 years.
Right.
And this year we're below that
Right
overall.
now, we're not far because the numbers from, if we look at it a monthly year over year, we're pretty flat. If we go back January, February, March, April, it's pretty flat. Some we've seen a 3% increase in transactions. We're not saying prices, are prices off a bit?
No, well, March, look at what the big Trump report. Oh, Easter was in March this year. That's why our numbers were down. The numbers were down.
Well, the numbers were down at that,
Sales, sales volume.
but I think Barrie came out 3% ahead or 4%, I do believe, or marginally flat. I can't remember now, but I think the Barrie market's intact. But looking at these numbers, they'd say, well, what are you smoking? But it's the halfway part of the month, so I'm not getting too excited. If this was the end of the month, I'd go, wow, we got a problem. We have a problem.
Yeah.
I think I would. That's my view. But again, you can see by these numbers and these sales, inventory's building in the lower ranges throughout, and this million and over is sure getting bigger and bigger all the time. Right?
Yep.
And then, again,
Well,
sellers
the
are
other thing is, Mark, is it seems to me like we have a spring market for selling, but not buying. Like this is the spring market. So people are, okay, I'm going to sell. It's a spring market, but we don't have buyers right now.
no, a lot of those buyers came out early. Last couple of years, they start shopping a little bit earlier, right? February comes along and they start watching, they go, holy cow, that's sold already. And oh my God, that's sold in a bidding war. They get anxious. I was busier in February, March than I am right now. They bought.
I
Oh my
know.
God, get in before I miss out. Low inventory, we've seen some pricing a little bit higher than getting it due to inventory. Will they get those prices today in the market that they got in March? I don't think so, depending on the house and in the neighborhood, maybe, but
Well, I
we're
know
not.
one was just listed at 658 and it's got an upper lower rental, but it's not legal and the basement has small windows and stuff. It's in the Letitia area and they have like 10 showings already in the first day.
Yeah, well, I don't think I don't think it's sure selling over that price. I can tell you that much.
Well, they're not withholding.
No, and nor should they,
No,
right? I mean, we could talk this rental game to death
but they
and
bought it last year at 620.
yeah, so they're not getting out ahead.
Well,
Tell me.
no. Well, they're losing. They redid the whole house.
Yeah, so,
They redid the whole thing. So they're losing.
right.
They
Are
put
they,
new kitchen, new bathroom, new everything.
is that a tenanted property?
Just on the main floor, yeah.
Okay. What's the rent?
2100.
3 bedroom?
Well, they're saying it's 3, but it's actually 2.
Okay,
The reason why I say that is there was a 3-bedroom and it was opened up
right,
years ago and they never ever put a wall back there.
okay,
So it's
yeah,
just an open area. There's no wall or door. That's not a friggin' bedroom to me.
right. And then another thing too, now we're coming into a long weekend this weekend, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So there's another, as we get closer to, today's Tuesday, come Thursday, it's done, right? People are thinking long weekend, have plans, cottage trips, going away, camping,
I was
you
just
know.
shocked at how many showings they have already.
Well, yeah, I think
I mean,
maybe,
it's 658 and you have a basement apartment with 2 bedrooms in it.
but show's nice too, though. If they've
Well,
done
yeah,
some,
they just redid the whole thing. They're losing money though. Like, yeah, they're at a loss for sure.
right, so they want to get out for whatever reason and, you know,
Yeah.
who knows? But anything else on the market you think for halfway point that you want to kind of chat
No,
about?
I just see that sales are really slow and people are trying to do everything, trying to get some interest in their listings.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. And they're going to have to really sharpen that pencil, as I mentioned. Okay, I think that's a wrap. Remember, if you want some advice in the market, reach out to myself or Diane. Give the video a like, share, and leave a comment.
Hit the
Yeah,
subscribe to see our new ones.
absolutely. Okay, talk soon.
See ya.
See you.